and welcome to Onesies, a podcast of one season wonders and blunders. My name's Andrew,
My name is Emily.
and we are back discussing the 1984 ABC situational comedy Three's a Crowd, also known as Three's Company 2, when in syndication, which you can read a Wikipedia article about now because I think that's over. Um, the youth might not know what that is.
Um,
So, um, so we're going to be talking about episodes 17 and 18, which means we only have two more records of this before Emily is going to drop a mega maximal bomb on us for next
oh my
season.
God. You can thank Mr. Emily for this one.
Oh,
I
you're not going to be thanking him after we get to talk about some of the 90s era politics that were on network television. Though, actually, Jack and Mr. Bradford are going to get into a debate, a televised or a radio debate in a couple episodes. And I'm very curious to see what that's going to entail.
do. I'm real curious. I can't wait. Ugh.
Okay. So, episode 17 is entitled September Song. Episode
September
8,
song. Weird name for an episode.
it is based on one of the Robin's House episodes, if I'm reading
Oh,
the Wikipedia
gotcha.
here correctly. So, it may have come from I've never seen the British original. I assume it is not any more erudite, but maybe they have more romantic time. And then episode 18 is Deeds of Trust, guest starring two people from Three's Company, because continuity in canon is very important on Three's a Crowd. Starting with Jack desperately wanting Mr. Bradford's I can't even think of the word because it's so stupid.
Approval,
Approval.
uh,
He
uh,
wants
validation.
validate. Like, Jack is gonna suck up to Mr. Bradford in this episode like he didn't have a dad. And I'm pretty sure Jack's dad's just down in San Diego fucking chilling. Okay, so the episode begins with the restaurant.
They're in the restaurant. It's Jack and
Oh
Vicky.
God, I just remembered.
I didn't, so keep
Okay,
talking.
so Jack has just had a profitable week or month. He is very excited about this. He's going to he's going to go over and tell Mr. Bradford. Vicky, he like does a whole impression of Mr. Bradford. Vicky's like, "You sure do want my dad's approval, don't you?" And he's like, "Well, he's such just a great guy. I just, he's the chair of the old young Republicans city commission or whatever. Like, I just really think Mr. Bradford's a swell fella." Um, it's really stupid.
It's really
And
stupid.
it's we've had like does again they I'm trying to see if these writers are credit no, they're not. These are the same guys who are credited with writing the episode that ends with Jack slamming the door in Mr. Bradford's face saying, "This is what my therapist told me to do." So cool. No, never mind. Because they also did the episode where Jack tries to save Mr. Bradford from heartbreak. Okay, so Vicky has to go upstairs and change because she is going away for a training. We are going to have a very light Vicky episode this week because
Because why not?
Mary Carteret is like, "Actually, you know what? My therapist told me it's fine if I don't have to do the whole episode."
I think it's I think it's funny because she when she leaves, like maybe it's the times we're not like as formal anymore. I have this conversation with Mr. Emily all the time about how like at my age, like when my mom was my age, how much more of a mom. Like she seemed older. She had her I mean had her shit together. I guess she had a house, she had kids, she had whatever. We don't have that, right? Um but Vicky, when her dad comes in, like she greets him and then she's immediately like, um, can you excuse me, please? I have to go change. And it's like, it's just this weird thing, like so formal with your father. Like the it's little things like that that's like people don't talk like that anymore. I mean, even in formal settings, I don't think it caught me off guard. I remember that. Like I watched, we're recording a day later, folks, and so I watched this a couple days ago, and I'm not remembering, but I remembered that. That stuck out to me. Very strange. Mr. Bradford comes in to the restaurant, sits down after Vicky leaves. Jack is coming back with the books, i.e., the accounts, to show Mr. Bradford that he made some money. And whatever span of time it is, I forget. He puts the books out in front. He points directly at the line where it's like he made money. And he's waiting, like in anticipation, like eagerly waiting for Mr. Bradford to be like, oh my God, congratulations, because the restaurant hasn't been doing so well. And Mr. Bradford does not respond that way.
But he does do all of the other steps in Jack's impression of him until the end, and then he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And this seems like it should have been the second episode.
Yeah. Yeah, this seems like a storyline that would be good in the second.
Appropriate,
Yeah. We find
really
out a
fast.
little bit more about Mr. Bradford and what his character is, which is a womanizer. Like that doesn't take a lot, but yeah, the restaurant, like it kind of sets the stage a little bit better.
They didn't have the restaurant set built out this far, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so they
They're arguing a lot.
argue,
Yeah.
and Mr. Bradford storms off. Jack goes over to get on the phone to sell the restaurant.
Quite hasty.
I mean, hey, it's early 1985. Reaganomics, baby. Yellow pages, sell your restaurant. That's how great the country was doing. Vicky comes down, interrupts him. We missed the scene. Oh, so Vicky does get another scene. Stupid, silly us, because she gets stacked like Jack. She goes into the kitchen to check in on EZ, who is doing the morning prep. This scene takes place in the morning.
11 a.m., which should be lunchtime, I guess, but whatever.
I mean, they're not open for lunch every day. Jack's Bistro is a very exclusive joint. And EZ tells her about a soap opera he's been watching, and
Oh,
she
yeah.
doesn't exactly roll her eyes at him, but rolls her eyes at him and goes out. But then she immediately retells this tragic story from the soap opera to
Hmm.
Jack as though it is Mr. Bradford's life story.
Right. And to explain his
Anger at
mood,
him.
his anger, his whatever. That he built himself up from nothing, pulled himself up by his bootstraps. Very weird. Doesn't know who his father is, right?
Yeah, doesn't know either of his parents. He
Yeah.
was an orphan. And then Jack is like, I'm gonna go over there and apologize to him or something. No.
Isn't there an episode? Oh no, it's Jack's aunt that comes over. Okay. I was trying to think.
Yeah.
There was an episode where some family member came over.
But then somehow Vicky checks in on EZ so we can establish how dim he is, because he's like, wow, man, I just heard your dad's story. That's wild. It should be a soap opera. Okay. So then I was like, so we're getting Mr. Bradford apartment set again? No. Somehow Vicky, I don't know where Jack goes that he wouldn't hear EZ talk to her, but whatever, who cares? Because it's through the partition,
Yeah.
because like there are pieces of this show that like why have we not had a busy night at the restaurant comedy of errors episode with these morons? Like
That
it's
would be great. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so we say that, but they actually did the last episode of the most recent season of The Bear as like a one act play, and
Mm,
it was a whiff. So let me I take that back. And also, we did not go on the tangent where I said they should have relaunched this in the early 2000s with as a Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore vehicle with Jack Nicholson as Mr. Bradford. Okay, so
gross. Hate it.
well, might be a better universe. You don't know. Uh, and Donald Trump died during the shooting. Freak accident went during the New York shooting Jessica Walters cameo. Okay, so somehow Mr. Bradford comes back. Oh, maybe Jack went to go get a bottle of wine or something. Like Mr. Bradford's going to take over a bottle of wine at 11:15 a.m. or to Mr. Bradford's to
Yeah.
apologize.
To apologize and also keep in mind Vicky in relaying this story to Jack about her father's unfortunate childhood is like, you can never tell my father. He would never want
Yes.
anybody to know. Um, and so he goes away to get a nice bottle of whiskey, or
Yes.
I don't even think it's scotch. I think it's just whiskey, whatever.
I've watched
Um,
something where people were drinking scotch. It might have been Hedda. That's an upper movie. Really good. But yeah, so they are drink because doesn't Mr. Bradford make a comment about its quality or something? I don't know.
I don't remember.
Yeah, so
I think
somehow
he does. I think he's like, I don't want this swill or something before he tries it. And then he tries it and he's like, oh, actually, this is really good.
so that Mr. Bradford's gonna apologize to Jack. Jack's gonna apologize to Mr. Bradford. Um, Initially, the joke is Mr. Bradford's going to take the bottle of whiskey with him, but then Jack's like, "No, it's for us to drink together, sir."
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's the joke.
okay.
Ugh.
Also, just gonna say, getting shit faced with your dad is a weird, it's a weird goal. It's a
Yeah.
weird thing you missed to think you missed out on.
Um, Also, because it's important later, I know that Jack wears suits when he's working at the restaurant, but
Yes.
1984 is still a time when men wore suits, like
Yes.
as regular clothing. So
Yes.
they're both wearing suits in this scene. And Mr. Bradford grabs the bottle to leave. They're actually going to drink it together. They sit down and start talking, and Mr. Bradford is like, let me tell you why I'm upset. And he talks about seeing some woman who was much younger, and he was trying to put moves on her, and she was like, you gross grandpa, or whatever. Like, essentially called him an old man, and he's having,
This is where we establish he's 54.
yes.
Jack's like, "You look great for 60." And Mr. Bradford's like, "I'm 54." And
And Robert Mondon is 58 in this
okay,
show.
all right.
So,
Well, so yeah,
so
I
in
totally
order to cheer him up,
forgotten.
besides having this delicious whiskey,
Oh, that's
whatever,
right.
they're going to go out for a night on the town. They're going to go drinking and dancing, and they're going to have a blast. Again, keep in mind, it is 1984. These men are wearing bland colored suits, and they're going to go out to a nightclub
Yeah.
in Southern California.
You know what nightclub they're going to? Let's see if Emily gets this reference, everybody. Hold on. I think
I'm not
they're,
going to.
you never know. Um, it could be from Harlem Nights, but it's not. They're going out to Tech Noir.
No.
Techno. Okay, it's the nightclub from the Terminator, where people did
Oh.
indeed wear those clothes while out partying.
Well, what I've never seen the Terminator, so I wouldn't know, but
Okay,
that's insane to me. That is insane to me. I mean, I get that the 80s is like yuppies, but neither one of these men are young. Uh
okay. Mandan is a millionaire, we think, and Jack, as we will reestablish next episode, has one of the two most magic dicks in the state of California. He just happens to be best friends with the possessor of the other magic dick. Um, Vicky is just so blessed. Okay, so they end up at a we don't oh, the bar crawl scene, folks. Let me tell you, consists of them being shit faced at night in a park set. I don't know if it's
It's
the
the
same
same
park
park.
set.
I
Is
think
it?
it's the
Okay.
same.
You
Yeah,
know
the
what?
same park set from
Whatever.
whatever one last time.
Yeah.
Very
Um,
weird.
hey, Mr. Mandan's apartment became a park, or Mr. Bradford's. So they are sitting on the bench talking about what great guys they are and each other are.
Also, they're visibly drunk,
They
and
are they are drunk like it's
it is the hackiest thing. Like Jack literally has his tie tied around his head.
it is
Like
like
that is the hackiest thing.
it is like a stage play production on an episode of Leave It to Beaver where Eddie tried to talk Wally into drinking. Wally did not, but Eddie did. And so now the joke is that Eddie's drunk and Wally is not. You know what? I bet that's not as bad. I bet that show's fine. I bet it has absolutely, I bet it's the straightest, whitest thing in the world, but I bet it also does not creep on girls. I hope. I don't know. Fuck. Somebody else do that podcast. Okay. The title possibilities. Okay. So Mandan has to go take a piss and he quickly is intercepted by a officer of the law who arrests him and takes him away. Is that
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
no real standout to it. Jack is either passed out or interceding. It does not matter. He might be passed out. Is he passed out?
I don't think he's passed out.
Okay.
I
You're
think
not there yet in the episode?
no, I'm not there yet in the episode. He's I think he talks to the police officer, tries to get the police officer
Yeah.
to like stop, if I'm remembering correctly. Um, but then we cut to the next day, or is his night court?
I think it's the next morning. I don't think
Okay.
if you're the
Because they have a
descendant
conversation
of
about like,
someone
oh,
from the
how are you, how is it being in jail, and he talks about how miserable it is. Oh, we did miss that they do the can
they
in the
do.
park. Mr. Bradford talks about being in the theater and how he loved to act and he loved to recite poetry, and they did a play where they all had to do the can, and so he's doing the can and trying to teach Jack. So this is the comic possibilities are endless.
This is also, I believe, where I first texted you. Your boy Ritter's fucking terrible in this episode. So
It's just very
every
broad. It's very broad.
everything he does in this episode has been bad. It has been some of his worst. And his drunk is,
Bad.
third grader
It's
would
like it's like a teenager who doesn't actually want to drink, pretends to drink, and then pretends to get drunk. Like that's what it is to impress their friends. Like
by teenager, you're referring to a 13-ager, right? Like, or a 12 and a quarter year old. Like,
maybe,
it's a very bad performance.
yeah.
Again, directed by Dave Peppers. Okay. So the next morning, Vicky's there. Um, and
They're
Jack shows
waiting
up
for
late.
they're waiting for Mr. Bradford's lawyer to show up,
There's the lawyer.
who never
Jack
does.
Jack's in the hallway waiting for the lawyer, so he's not there initially. Then they're waiting for the judge. Judge comes in, it's a lady. Mr. Bradford's like, dude, holy shit, this is fucking great. That is, Babs Finnegan. No, it would not be Finnegan. That's Babs Lancaster. She is on the Mayflower Commission with me. Our families have known each other since the crossing. And
Yeah,
Mickey's like, cool, Dad. And he's like, this is going to be fucking fine. And so, even though he doesn't seem to be first on the docket, the judge is then like, hey, Robert Bradford, James Bradford. Well, this isn't going to take as long, is it? I am going to wink, wink, make sure this is okay for you. This is
yeah.
how America works. Except In comes Jack because the lawyer has not shown up, but Jack is there. She's about to set Mr. Bradford on his lily white way, and Jack instead goes, Your Honor, I need to tell you something about this man that he would never want you to know. This man rose himself from poverty, Your Honor. He does not know who his parents are. He lies about that to everyone. And so they don't do that enough. They like the idea that Jack could be ruining Mr. Bradford. Like it would be funnier if this was a woman, if the judge was like a woman, like she knows some more age appropriate lady who Mr. Bradford knows,
Yeah.
something like if because they have like a so if they have a social connection, and Jack instead is like, this man has been deceiving the world. He is not who he says he is. He he is a child of the slum who did not know his parents, who rose
Well,
up.
what's weird to me is that, like, it's very easily disproved, right? Like, whatever Jack is telling the judge should be like,
The judge has known him since
yeah,
they went to Cotillion together. Like,
yeah. And like these people who trace their families back to the Mayflower, like they have the paperwork. Like this is not something you can fake. So the fact that the judgment is that he has to do community service or whatever is kind of irrelevant because I mean it's unnecessary because she knows that he knows who his family is. Like she knows that whatever this is that Jack is saying is a lie because that's the type of people that they are. Like they know this stuff. This is not something that you lie about. You've got paperwork, you've got certification, you're practically a fucking mason. I mean, this is like you've got a tattoo or something. Like like this is not something this the judge should have put Jack in like a psychiatric facility. Like
right. Like the judge, the punchline of the scene should have been Jack and or Mr. Bradford and Vicky looking at Jack and being like, Your Honor, we've never seen this man before in our
yeah,
lives.
yeah.
Like that would have been
And
hilarious.
and you would think that the judge would know Vicky, whatever.
So yeah, and then Jack does a whole bit. Mr. Bradford and Vicky look on in terror, horror, and then we cut to Jack eating a sandwich on the park bench because we are not fucking wasting this set. This is awesome. You can do daytime, you can do nighttime. Wow.
Just grab a sandwich from craft services and
Sit on down.
sit on down.
Um, and then we reveal Mr. Bradford is picking up garbage and he spikes Jack's sandwich and throws it away in a
Because Jack
joke.
is kind of giving him a hard time a little
Yeah.
bit for having to do community service. Like
But I mean,
gentle ribbing, like not even
yeah, but
necessary. Like there's no reason for Jack to be there except to
to
rib
give,
on this guy.
yeah. So, you know, it it was not actually a bit on an I Love Lucy, but it could have been. Like this episode is it's
It's
like got
very
pieces that have worked in other contexts, but they can't assemble them to work here.
it's just like having watching it currently, it's so thin. Everything is so thin. Like it's not really necessary. I think we could have talked about this episode in 10 minutes. Like and been done with.
Ugh,
Like it is so thin. The next episode too, except there's more to talk about because
it's disgusting.
it's disgusting. Um but everything, every episode of this is just the plot is so thin
It's no
and
subplot.
it relies so heavily on Jack and his physical comedy, EZ and his physical comedy. Like there's so little actual chemistry between any of the characters except for Jack and Vicky who at some point made out all of the time and fucked constantly and now they don't. It's very weird. It's very weird.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, we end with his sandwich getting thrown away, right?
Yep.
Okay, deeds of trust.
Okay. Hold on. I need to.
Oh, I should pull up the IMDb because I don't know. I know the guy's name is Kline, but I can never remember his first name. Uh, Reese.
Okay.
I was thinking while we were on our quick break about the chemistry that I had mentioned before and
Mhm.
how like if they were to do another since this show got canceled, if they did another show where Mary Carteret had left and John Ritter and Alan Campbell had to live together and turned it into more of a like these two single guys, very different, living in LA and doing their thing. That would be a much better show because their chemistry is pretty decent. What we've seen
So there was a proposed
was there.
produced
Ah,
fourth Three's Company series, which right because no fifth because Roper no the Ropers was the other one that we
hmm
can't do because it's two seasons because it's good. Um, yeah,
good.
but that had a proposed spinoff in
Oh,
it's on the wiki. I have not decided when to recount that information, but it was basically, I mean, it also sounds like fan casting because basically it was during the height, the early syndication boom where like New Leave It to Beaver, Star
mm,
Trek, The Next Generation. They were going to bring it back, and it was going to, I don't know if it was going to bring people back. It might have brought back the Ropers if they were still alive in 87, but it was going
I
to
don't know.
center around basically all of it was going to be a guest star show where we would just roll through guest stars from the Three's Company connected universe. Because it was 1987 and none of these people were doing anything better with their lives. But then the syndication boom died before they could do it. But that also
Gotcha.
seems nonsense. I have not checked the footnotes. Okay, so so yes, the last appearance of Jack Tripper will be in 2 episodes from now on onesies, but not on Three's a Crime. Okay, so we just cut right to it, like to the
Yeah.
point that I thought, what we just is
And
Alan
I thought there was going to
Campbell
be
in
some
this
kind of
episode?
lead up. Like, he's credited on IMDb, but I don't remember him being in
No,
it.
I don't think he's in it.
He must be.
Why?
I think he is. I don't know, because they do go down to the kitchen for no real reason or to the diner or whatever, the bistro.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see.
All right, we'll see.
But
You'll
so
see.
the episode starts like again, I was expecting we knew that Richard Kline was going to be a guest star, Larry from Three's Company. I was expecting there to be some buildup because in 1984, obviously no social media. There was no way to there was no real way to advertise it. Maybe in TV Guide, it was like, he's
They
back.
ran, yeah,
Larry's back.
they ran promos for weeks.
But
You're
like,
forgetting ads.
yeah, I guess I'm forgetting ads. But I thought there would be some kind of weird buildup. There was not.
No.
We open in Jack and Vicky's apartment, knock at the door. They answer the door. Larry comes in wearing a hideous sweater, giving Jack a hug. Um, they're best friends, apparently. I didn't know that. That has never been mentioned. He has never been in an episode before, and they
What
must
are you
never
talking?
see each other.
They're best friends from. You think Chandler and Joey stopped being best friends when they stopped paying Matthew Perry to pretend to be his best friend?
I don't know.
Um, they actually, I mean, I don't know that they ever called each other best friends on. They should have, considering they tried to get women assaulted together. Actually, they're not best. They're not just best friends. They're accomplices. Okay, so because I did my research and discovered that Gretchen is a returning character as well.
Oh yeah.
And that episode is entitled Janet's Date, and I will recount it when it becomes appropriate, as I understand it from not having watched it. Okay, so Larry is in Bakersfield. We, again, did not watch the last 2 episodes of Three's Company, so we don't know if this was established there.
Oh, so
As
that's why they never see each other. That makes
yeah,
sense.
he lost his shirt in the used car business, which is stupid.
Can I
Uh,
say though that I miss the era of television where there was a sleazy neighbor? I mean, like Larry is the sleazy car salesman type of guy trying to get everybody into trouble. I kind of like that. I think it could be, I don't watch a lot of modern sitcoms, but I think that it could be uh made appropriate for a 2026 television audience and not problematic, not as problematic, right? Like I really like that. I don't know why I like it so much. Just a third party coming in, fucking everything up. I just love it. I mean, I guess there was that guy on Seinfeld. Which one was that? The racist one? The racist guy?
Isn't Yeah, but so the way this is going to manifest with Larry is he's going to get Jack to try to cheat on his girlfriend.
Yeah,
That's just, I think, male sitcom characters now, right? Like that's just, I mean, I
I
didn't
don't
watch
know.
Big Bang Theory, but I assume that and they're, telling people to vote Trump. I don't know. So we get this weird scene with Larry and Vicky where I was wondering what was established on Three's Company.
Yeah.
Like Larry's nicer, he's less creepy to her than he would be to, a woman he meets on the street, but there's still a little bit of edge to it. And as soon as, why are you making a face?
Because I was confused. I, you know, Mary Cataret's character in this, I don't like in this particular episode, but in general, she's a, a modern woman. She has a job that pays well. She's got a life kind of outside of her partner a little bit, a tiny little bit. Um, but we just don't see it, right? It's the episodes where she's not there. Um, and Larry at some point tells Jack, like, oh, what a catch. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. But she is just so not Larry's type, as we will see later. And as I remember from watching Three's Company when I was 9 years old, homesick from school, right? Like, I find his sort of more mature, respectful behavior toward her confusing because that is not who he is, who he will prove himself to be. Like it's very strange. And
Yeah, he's
it
he's
also
he's
it
just
doesn't
he's grooming her. Like, what
it
are you
also
talking about?
doesn't gel well with him then I don't want to say encouraging, but not discouraging Jack from cheating on her.
At the lamest fucking party in the world.
The
Uh,
lamest party in the world.
so no, because he's not. He's full of shit. It's Larry. Like
Yeah, I guess.
he's like
Also, she's in her nightgown or her robe again. Like
it's
it's
very inappropriate. Like I know, like, what do you wear when Mr. Emily's boys come over to fucking smoke cigars, play poker, and like count money or whatever they do in your
not
mansion?
money.
I don't know. You've already established that in this episode you and Mr. Emily don't have any kids, so
My ovaries are diseased.
that you know about. Okay. So
They have a nice little chatty catch-up session. Larry brings a gift. Turns out it's electric knife that Jack had lent to Larry. He gave it back, didn't not remembering that he had borrowed it. What a lame gift. Like why would you bring some used thing? Whatever.
because it's
Jack is showing Larry around the apartment while Vicky goes to get dressed, and Larry is very dismissive. It is kind of the funniest scene for me because Larry is doing some physical comedy that I appreciate. Where Jack is like, "Look at these shelves that I built," and Richard Kline literally is like, like, "Ooh, a big deal," and then like, "Look at what I did in the kitchen. Look at this. Look at that." Like he's remodeled this house. And Larry's like, she's quite the catch, but I cannot believe how pee-whipped you are, my friend. Like, this is not the Jack Tripper I know. Um, Let me reintroduce myself to the Jack Tripper I know by inviting you to a party tonight at my motel. The nicest motel I've ever seen, by the way.
but not as nice as the one that they implied he was going to be staying at, the
Oh, yeah.
Seabridge Towers. Okay, so Jack doing these repairs, these home improvements. they're renting. Jack could have done shit at the Three's Company apartment. He just didn't. So what Larry, what
I'm wondering because it is mentioned, I think last week in one of the two episodes we watched for last week, that Mr. Bradford owns the building. So I'm wondering if he is allowed to do these additions to put built-in bookshelves or whatever because he got approval from the landlord, his father-in-law, essentially.
I don't know that I consider either of the DIY Jack did. I don't think that the spice rack. I don't think you got to tell your landlord you're putting up a spice rack. The
But if you're doing
shelves,
built-in bookshelves, you might need to.
you building bookshelves you might need to, but also not if you just put a fucking some shelves across a fucking empty
But it was
coffee table.
built-ins. These are
Okay.
these well, anyway.
It
But
wasn't in the, but anyway, Larry
anyway,
doesn't give a shit.
regardless of whether he needed approval or not, like, and whether he could have done it before, he's grown into the type of person who wants to make his house a home, right? Like, he wants to make this apartment a little bit more homey, a little bit more whatever. And, because toxic masculinity, that's not okay. You're domesticated, you're pussy whipped, you're less of a man. You need a night out with me. And, so Larry invites him to the party. Vicky comes back out. She's dressed now in what looks like work clothes. So maybe she's going to work.
She's going to work.
And
Um,
and Jack's like, "Oh, Vicky, Larry just invited us to this party, but remember, we've got a dinner date with your dad." And she's like, "Oh, you should go." And he's like, "No, my ex-girlfriend's gonna be there."
because we discussed that. We discussed how greedy Gretchen is going to be there. Now,
Mm.
I hope you find that nom de plume amusing because it is going to be a joke from now on. Every single character, when they say Gretchen, will start by saying greet. Oh, I mean Gretchen.
Even
Now,
people who have never met her.
and we'll never meet her. Now,
I was hoping that they would reprieve my favorite of Jack's ex-girlfriends, Dick Pig Debbie, but they apparently couldn't find Dick Pig Debbie. Oh well.
when you started saying that, I didn't know it was going to be not real. I was like, shit, Emily really did go back and watch some Three's Company. And what is Gretchen greedy for? Yeah,
Hey, he's got a magic dick,
he
man.
does have a magic dick. He, Larry and Jack have the most magic dicks. Like,
Neither
Jack's
one of
is a
these
little
men
better,
are particularly attractive,
but Larry's is good enough
but
and
they are
much
so,
better than your boyfriend's. Um, okay. So Vicky's like, no, you can go. That's fine. I don't give a shit.
yeah.
And Jack's like, oh, okay. Um,
This is where I was lost.
this
This
is
is
where
where I
the
fell off.
episode jumped the shark for you a little.
This is where I fell off this episode because she answers a phone call and she's like, no, you should totally go. You should totally go. I'm just going to take this in the other room. Goes into the kitchen with the phone and immediately is like, oh my God, Jack's going to go to this party with a girl he used to date. I'm so jealous.
Which
This
has
is
on the
where
phone, by the way.
Mary Carteret is the best actress in the world because she switches between the two very seamlessly. Like between just being absolutely fine and being a wreck. Now, in the real world, we talk about our jealousies, we talk about boundaries, and we are not necessarily worried about being perceived in a certain way, right? If you can talk calmly and respectfully and whatever, then you talk about it. But this is where again, and you might be thinking that I fell off of this because it gets gross towards women. I just don't like how Mary Carteret's character is portrayed in this as, she's the one with her head on her shoulders. She's the one with the career. She's the catch, right? And yet she is willing to play these games, which we will discuss, and not admit her faults, which is this jealousy thing. Like it's perfectly fine. I mean, it's not a fault. It's perfectly fine to be jealous, like to
And
an extent.
quite warranted in this
And quite
circumstance.
warranted in this situation because Gretchen is greedy. I don't know if they mentioned that again. Um, so I'm like I was gone. Like I love Larry and he's sleazy and it's like I don't it's not like it's completely problematic. I recognize that, but I also find him disgusting and I mean he reminds me a little bit of Mr. Emily.
Wow, everybody, I was going to make that joke, and then it turns out to be real. Okay.
Sorry, I stepped on your punchline. Um, no, I mean he's charming. He's a little smarmy, and because it's ABC sitcom, it's completely harmless, right? Like in the situation of the show, portraying that sort of thing to the world as an okay way to be is not, you know, harmless. But yeah. So I just ugh, I don't like when they don't communicate. The basis of communication of a relationship is communicating. And they haven't even been together for very long. They're living together. They're already kind of outside of the realm of modern mores, modern for 1984. And but they're still not able to communicate with each other. They still can't have that grown-up relationship. Neither one of them are ready to be living together, let alone him trying to marry her. We forgot about that because it's been a few episodes. Anyway,
Anyway,
Jack is
so
disappointed that she is not seemingly not jealous
yes.
or not concerned. Again, this is his ego, not good, but not uncommon for this show, where his ego is bruised because his girlfriend isn't jealous.
Yep. So, do we go straight to the party, or does he talk to? I remember when Easy closes up for the night by himself, which
Oh yeah, it turns on
reveals
some loud
that,
music.
yeah, and it reveals that Jack makes him run the restaurant alone at times, which would mean waiting, hosting, chefing,
Yeah,
which is,
a lot, even for a small bistro.
I would also say, potentially not possible.
Also,
Um,
a health hazard. I don't think you can be handling money and cooking. And
Guess what? Jack's Bistro gets a D anyway. They don't worry.
um, but we get an appearance of Mrs. Bradford, Jessica
So,
Walter.
so she's on
She's
the phone.
she's on the phone. We see her
Yes, we see her, and
in
she
bed,
will come
scantily
into it.
clad.
But when she picked up the phone initially, I thought she wasn't going to show.
Yeah.
So we she actually then gets a we're gonna do a bit, and she's like, I'm willing to stand in a scene, um, and I'll sit in a scene. Can you make this work? To which they were like, sure.
Yeah.
So she then calls Mr. Bradford. She is asleep at this point, or he is no, wait, she was asleep. She's alone in bed, which is also a missed opportunity. Anyway,
We don't call Mr. Bradford yet.
we don't call Mr. Oh, right. They call
That's
him
later.
later.
That's
Oh,
later.
God. This is just the panic.
This is just a
So,
panic. Vicky comes back out. She's like, "No, go to the party, have fun." Da 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 da. And Jack is trying to talk her out of letting him go. Like
yes.
he doesn't want to go because he doesn't want to see Gretchen. He doesn't want this to happen. But she's like, "No, no, you should go." She leaves. He's sort of like frazzled, and then we cut to the party.
Okay. Her
Mrs. Bradford's
mom,
advice. What is her advice
her
to
advice
Vicky?
was to do that. Her
Okay.
advice is you do not let him know you're jealous under any circumstances whatsoever. And Vicky's like, does this actually work? And she's like, it worked with your father. And she's like, wait,
So
what? And she's
so
like, I mean, until I left him.
this is another hang up I have. She has been adamant about not getting married because of her parents' relationship that was terrible when they were together and they ended up getting divorced. Why is she taking advice from these people? Why doesn't she have some of her younger friends,
Has
her
she
colleagues,
has she had a friend? She had the
yeah,
friend that
that
Jack,
came to stay the night that
yeah,
Jack
that
thought was gonna try to fuck
dump
him?
him. Yeah, because of the magic dick. She
And
didn't know
then
he had a
the
magic dick.
And then the math teacher and his wife,
Yeah, her old
or
college
history teacher,
professor.
history
Yeah.
teacher.
Okay. So, yeah, we cut to the party, which is the fucking greatest party from an Ed Wood movie ever.
It is a bunch of people, a bunch of men in suits
Yep.
and women in weird dresses that some look like they're cocktail, some look like I don't know, whatever. And
Not like
a motel scene that is
not avant-garde dresses. Emily did not mean weird as though they are
no.
bizarre or absurdist. They
No, like
are,
one woman is wearing like a long, what looks like a sweater dress.
yeah,
It's
it's
it's completely incongruous. Like,
they went across the street to some of the people who were waiting in line for one of the late night shows and were like, you want to be extras on Three's a Crowd? Like, it's thoughtless.
and there's crowds of people around, standing, talking. Jack is sitting by himself on the sofa. Larry comes over and is like, "Buck up, friend! Like, liven up. You're at a
Yeah,
party."
this was described on Wikipedia as a swinging party. Larry implied that it was going to be a fuck fest. It is
There's a
really
guy that looks
boring.
like Donald Sutherland
Yeah.
in this scene. Like,
And also, when we get to what the highlight of the party is, that's weird too. Okay. But then Gretchen shows up.
and
Now,
Gretchen
Gretchen,
is dressed very much appropriate for the type of party I was expecting there to be. It's a very tight, snug dress. She's busty. It's got kind of a mandarin collar, maybe. She's blonde, sparkly. She's got a high, squeaky voice
sometimes.
sometimes.
And
She
so
walks in and immediately sees Jack and goes up to him and talks to him. And Jack is kind of freaked out. Larry gives him a pep talk.
there's a line. She has a boyfriend now, and she's there with him. So Jack feels a little bit more reassured.
Yeah.
But then she
At
is
some
thinking of
point,
old times.
yeah.
But he does mention he's living with a girl now, to which Gretchen says, "Oh, you're slowing down, huh? When I met you, you were living with two."
Yeah.
So this raises, it doesn't raise it in the episode, but, or in anything that they ever did, but it does raise the point that Jack probably did imply to many women that he was fucking both the girls.
Yeah. Also, the whole conceit of Three's Company was that he had to pretend to be gay in order to be allowed
Right.
by the landlord to live with them. But everybody besides the landlord knew that he wasn't gay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so how did that play? Like when he was if he was dating Gretchen, I guess I don't remember. I guess if there was another woman involved, he would just have to play it off like he was doing their hair or some like dumb 70s, 80s gay stereotype,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Okay, so we'll just discuss my understanding of Gretchen's previous appearance.
yes.
Now, unfortunately, it was only once, though in the episode they talk about it as a like I was like, oh, was she recurring? She appeared on one of the later seasons. She was going out with Larry's magic dick, and then he was like, hey, I would rather give Terry, your roommate, my magic dick. I'll give you Greedy Gretchen if you hook that up. So Jack was supposed to have dinner with Janet, instead pawns Janet off on Mr. Furley. Larry, I believe, is probably going to go out to dinner with Terry and get slapped at the end, but Jack does get to go out with Greedy Gretchen.
Is
And
she
so
called Greedy Gretchen?
in the original, yes, she is.
Cool. I'm glad they carried that over. The consistency is so important.
It is very important. So Gretchen, hey, go or Jack. She comes on to him and he freaks out. She sent her boyfriend home, and she's like, "Dude, I sent him home because I really had forgotten about your magic dick. But let's get
Yeah.
that going." And he's like, "Whoop, whoop," and he runs off to the bathroom.
Yes.
Larry then says, "Hey, everybody, it's time for the highlight of the party. Let's go up on the roof and smell the ocean."
Let's just sit with that, folks. Let's just sit with that for a minute.
Highlight of the
This
party.
swinging party and all of these duds in suits and whatever are going to go up to smell the ocean.
Yep.
There's no music playing even, and I understand the logistics of being able to hear dialogue, but there's nobody dancing. There's not even hors d'oeuvres. Like you see people with like glasses of liquid, brown liquid, but there's not even whatever. Anyway, everybody goes upstairs. Gretchen sneaks into the bedroom of this motel suite to wait for Jack. Jack, I don't know if he heard everybody leave. This is like a Scooby-Doo thing where, like, literally Gretchen goes into one room and he immediately comes out of another one. He sneaks out and opens the door to Vicky.
Vicky,
Vicky's dinner date with her father got done early, so she thought she would stop by the party. Now, there is nobody in this room, and she notices that. And very quickly, Gretchen comes out of the bedroom looking for Jack. And she's being all coquettish. And Vicky is upset, but not showing it. She will show it when Jack is not around. Um, I was mortified because Gretchen literally grabs him by the arm and holds on to him, and she's doing her sexy little wiggle, like. And Vicky, again, best Mary Catterett, best actress in the world, is sitting there like she's never met this couple before. Like, oh, they must be together. Like this has zero impact on her emotional well-being. I hate this. I hate this for the character. I hate this for the actress. I hate this for women in general. Pitting women against each other is not my favorite thing. Pitting men against each other is.
so we then actually, Vicky leaves, and I believe we cut, right? We don't show Jack leaving.
No.
So she goes home, she calls her mom. This is when Jessica Walters like, "I'm not, what do you want me to do? I'm also taking the fake fur." Um, so she has a bit where she and Mr. Bradford call each other on the phone. Like it's a fucking AT&T commercial from the 1970s trying to convince you to get a phone, where
Yes.
he hangs up on her for calling him. So then she calls him back and is like, "You don't even care about your daughter," and hangs up on him, thereby forcing him to call her.
It is uh, the worst dynamic between the two of them that I've seen. I don't like this constant battle for like being the better parent to their
It
grown adult
is,
daughter.
yeah.
I don't I don't like it. I don't understand it. I don't I don't
And
love it.
given how little they will actually have, like some, both Mandan and Jessica Walter approaches the episode like they were like, "Wait, you're telling us that they stipulated we have to be in the episode where Richard Kline guest stars? I don't want to do that." And they're
Yeah.
like, "No, it's in your contract. You have to appear in any episode where a Three's Company regular appears." And they were like, "Fuck you." And so we then get Jessica Walter. Does Jack
She
get
gets
back to the bistro before she gets to the apartment?
I don't remember.
Because this is where Jack will walk on Easy, who is closing up for the night, and Easy plays music. Jack turns off the music and is like, "Stop being a fucking asshole." And it's like, what is your problem, dude? Like, Easy can't listen to music while working while the restaurant is closed.
Yeah. So Jack gets back to the bistro before either of the parents show up
Okay.
at the apartment.
Why is he not upset? Oh,
Also, why is Easy wearing a cummerbund?
oh my! Why is he wearing a pink cummerbund?
Yeah.
Because he's a
It looks like a
host.
fanny pack. It looks like
He's a
one of those like runner fanny packs. It's like
Yeah.
right tied up against your
we've been skipping over Jack's arc of this episode to concentrate on Vicky's arc. Jack's arc of the episode is Vicky doesn't love me because she doesn't care if I fuck around. So what am I even doing here? I should be
Yeah.
fucking around.
Yeah.
And so he's moping about that.
He's moping, like having a TT. Like he is being a really big baby about it. And again, I understand like wanting to be loved by your partner, but that love does not have to be shown through jealousy.
Have you tried that? Okay, so you could make Mr. Emily's day very interesting when we get done recording. Very, very interesting.
Nagara.
Okay, so
I pit men against each other on my own terms, okay,
okay,
Andrew?
okay. So yeah, so Jack's downstairs bit mope. I don't even know. He might mope to easy, he might not. It doesn't matter because it's not the weird fucking so
And Vicky comes back down completely nonplussed
yeah,
and just like, leaving him even more upset. Some physical comedy where he grabs a chair and squeezes it because he's so frustrated. And again,
best physical comic since Don Knotts.
talk about your feelings. Vicky goes back upstairs where her mother, in her Edward Gorey long mink coat, beautiful, is
Jessica
waiting for
Walter
her.
is like,
Jessica Walter.
this is why I did the episode.
Yes, she's like, I get to
And
keep my wardrobe? Okay.
am I gonna flash some guy? Maybe. Not as much as Andrew thought I was
She
going to.
does flash the camera. Yep. She
She
flashes the
just
camera
flashed the
when
camera. Yeah.
she's like, again, this is why I hate it. She is more concerned about proving to Vicky that she is a more dedicated parent than Mr. Bradford than she is about actually taking care of this problem.
Yes.
And
Okay.
Mr. Bradford's solution, because he comes in very quickly. So that's why she flashes, folks. She says, like, oh, I didn't even have time to get dressed. And she flashes to a negligee. Mr. Bradford comes in and he is ready to fight, which I loved. But there's no mention of his boxing career in college or whatever.
Yeah.
Jack was afraid of that one time.
Mr.
So,
Bradford is like Sterling. Mr. Bradford should have been played 20 years earlier by Sterling Hayden. He's a Mayflower descendant, a poet, an actor, a singer, a dancer, and a boxer. And I think he was in the service. Like, he's a fucking Renaissance greatest generation man. It should have totally been Sterling Hayden.
I think
Anyway,
Vicky pretty quickly realizes that this is just a battleground for her parents, and she just dismisses them. Meanwhile, Jack is in the bistro and he's moping still. And there's a knock at the door, and it's Larry and Gre-
Gretchen.
Gretchen.
Okay, that was, I could tell you were doing that on purpose. However, the last time you didn't do it on purpose, just like I didn't do it on purpose.
I
And
did it on
now,
purpose last time.
okay, well, somebody's an actor. Okay,
Yeah,
anyway. All right. Well, thank you for saying that before I went down this tangent that maybe the actors were actually having problems with it, and so they had to incorporate it. Okay, so what's going on? Jack says. Larry's like, man, I felt so bad. Gretchen told me what happened about Vicky showing up and all that. It's okay. I'm gonna give Gretchen the magic dick. You don't have to.
yeah.
She's like, it's good enough. And he's like, but I feel terrible about fucking shit up with Vicky. I'll go upstairs and explain what's going on right now. Goes upstairs, meets her parents. Okay, Larry would be a much better character if he were a bisexual slut because he
Let's do
compliments
it.
Miss.
Let's fucking write that shit, man. Let's write that. An
So
updated Three's a Crowd. Love it.
wow, but then what do we do about Three's Company? How do we reference all of that backstory? We have to retcon the whole thing. This is a real project on the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's like, no, I gotta explain what's going on, everybody. I'm like, oh, hi, Mrs. Bradford. How are you? You're a fine. I know where Vicky gets that fine looking body from. And Mrs. Bradford's like, we don't get like a close up of her, Jessica Walter, because maybe she was like, I'm not doing a close up where I appreciate it. But she's like, oh, well, how do you do? We do get a close up of Mr. Bradford being like, hell yeah, I'm where she gets those good looks from, baby. And it's just kind of
That
like,
was funny. That was
yeah,
funny. I thought that was funny.
other than hating the Bradfords at this point.
Yes, yes.
So Larry then lies about the explanation of what's going on. It's not like an extreme, like he just covers Jack's ass a little, like, but it's not big enough that it's funny. It's just manipulative and gross, and like Mr. Bradford should throw him out the window. Like
Yeah.
that's what the punchline should be. Should be Larry gets thrown out with the trash. But Mary Catterett falls for it, which means that we are going to establish that this is her understanding of their life going forward, and goes downstairs where is Gretchen,
Gretchen is still there talking to Jack.
but not macking on him.
She is macking on him a little
She is
bit.
macking on him a little bit because she's like, "Oh, Larry's been gone for 45 seconds. I forgot your dick's so much more magical. Oh my God."
She forces his head down on her breast to comfort him. And
Because
Jack is,
he is moping, thinking Vicky is not jealous, therefore she does not love him. To
right.
which
So
point,
why not
yeah.
take care of some business while I can? Yeah.
So Vicky then grabs Gretchen because she's going to fight for John Ritter. And Gretchen's like, oh, well, like, I didn't know it was that big of a deal, honey. Like, sadly, she should have been like, well, we brought my boyfriend for you. He's out in the car. Like, because no, they wouldn't do that because this show doesn't have any fucking balls. So it's just gross.
Can't have swingers.
So instead, Gretchen's like, Gretchen, I'm sorry, Teresa Ganzel, actress of numerous television programs, comes through and's like, well, you can tell Larry that he ain't getting any of this tonight, then I don't care if he's got a magic dick and he can drive home.
Yeah. Lonnie Anderson. She looks like Lonnie Anderson.
So the
Vaguely.
bit is that she's not a bimbo
There's throughout this scene when they first
scene.
come in, she's modulating her voice differently. And it's like deep and gruff. Like,
Yes, that's, I
mm,
believe, the bit.
it wasn't funny and it was verging on transphobic. Like,
So I think the joke is that she can't get a man with that voice, so she plays bimbo,
oh, maybe,
and she's greedy, and
maybe.
then hear the Marilyn Monroe voice done poorly and turn into Puddle, which, guess what, everybody, is probably true. I
Well,
don't.
because if you're stupid, you'll say yes to anything.
And we know for sure 58% of men are stupid. So at least 58% of men are stupid.
I was actually
So
thinking that men saw her as stupid and would take advantage of her for being stupid, and that's why they like her with the high voice.
I'm going to argue the minimum 58% of men don't think there's such a thing as an intelligent woman, that they shouldn't take it, that they don't think one exists. And so it is simply a matter of taking advantage. How do
Yeah,
you do
but
it?
that's so much easier when they're dumb.
Well, yeah,
It's
it was
so much easier.
1984. Right
Not a
now,
lot of work.
no.
Mary Carteret's going to be a lot of work.
Which is, apparently this show that is Jack's cross to bear.
It's a lot of work, especially if you're not willing to talk to your partner about feelings. I don't know.
Or
Whatever.
fuck your way through them anymore
Or fuck your way
because
through them anymore. Yeah.
standards and practices came down on you and you lost all your fucking, like,
Oh,
like this show should have ended with their makeup fucking in front of her parents, and the parents being locked out on the balcony, and they couldn't find the key, and so they started fucking while looking for it, and the parents are out there arguing. Like, that's what this show should be at this point. They were fucking exhibitionists at the beginning. They should be exhibitionists throughout. And
Yeah.
Larry should be by. And Mr. Bradford should have been a little curious, remembering his theater days.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Is that
uh
it?
Vicky kicks Gretchen,
Storms out.
she storms out. Jack and Vicky finally kind of talk, but it's mostly Jack like, "Well, you do love me. You were jealous, weren't you?" and kind of being patronizing.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. What I do actually love is that Vicky is upset, like visibly upset, and while he's patronizing her, stomps on his foot, does this great fake foot stomp, and he crumbles to the ground. I applaud your physical abilities, John Ritter, and allowing her to humiliate you in that way makes doesn't make up for this episode and all the ways she was mistreated, but makes up for a little bit of it anyway. Watching him crumble, even knowing it was fake. I mean, it was really fake looking, but
So, right, because Jack gets a comeuppance, which was not always the case.
yes.
So,
And then she storms away, and he like limps after her upstairs, and that's the
oh,
end of the episode.
okay. Where they walk in on Mr. Bradford, Mrs. Bradford, and Larry fucking.
I'd watch
Okay.
that. Not
Well,
them fucking, but a show where they're a couple. Sorry,
a thruple.
a
Okay.
throuple. Yeah.
I mean,
So
just embarrassing the hell out of no, because it would just be about humiliating Vicky. You can't you can't do it. Not with this creative team. So
no.
next episode
So
is
next week we'll be watching episodes 19 and 20. 19 is the new Mr. Bradford. Um, Mr. Bradford, has a change of heart with regard to Jack. And then episode 20 is King for a Day,
oh my god, it's written by Phil Mishkin. Remember Phil Mishkin? He's a real piece of shit. This will be great.
where the bistro becomes the it place to eat.
You are not reading this off of Wikipedia.
No.
And Jack forgets something important. So those
Yeah.
sound like they are going to be a repeat of this episode. The first episode will not feature Vicky very much. Instead, it will be Mr. Bradford and Jack having a stupid, cheap adventure, possibly in the park. Maybe they'll play catch. And then the episode after that will be Jack gaslighting and manipulating Vicky. But that's okay, folks, because as I've mentioned on this program before, first season of Mad About You includes an episode where the wife is at fault for being busy at work while Paul Reiser wants to brag about his work. And it is reinforced that she is a piece of shit. What's even better is their couple friends tell her she's a piece of shit for being busy at work.
Hate.
I think that was the second to last one we watched. I think after that, I was just like, I'm not, I can't, I don't want to know if this continues to be a problem.
Yeah.
But you know what? I feel like Paul Reiser really needs to be taken care of. So I bet it continues to be a problem. Okay, but we aren't watching that show because it had multiple seasons, and we can't watch the comeback season because it was apparently a continuation. And so we've never had the official adjudication on the actual ghost that I just
Did you
saw the
see that?
cover. I did see that.
That was weird.
That was very weird. That was very weird. We'll be back next time if
Maybe. I might be
Emily doesn't
dead.
have a ghost that is going to kill her.
Yeah. Okay. I look forward to not being
Dying by the
dying
ghost that
by the
lives in your
ghost.
apartment now.
Um, And see you next week when we discuss episodes 19 and 20 of Three's a Crowd. We're almost there. Andrew, I will see you in television land.
See you in television land.